Bo just being Bo. I think week in and week out, he shows up, and I rave about, him all the time, from training camp, OTAs, training camp, whatever. Whenever I get a chance to talk to you guys, I'm always raving about him as a competitor, him as a person, him as a teammate, a brother. The guy has that it to him, that thing where, you hear it all the time, the it. And everybody's it is something a little different, but, his it is something special. And he finds a way, and he's a gamer. The dude shows up, and we know that when we have him back there, that we have a chance of winning the game. And I think that's the most fun thing and confident thing to be able to have, is to know that, the guy back there is going to give us a chance to win the game. And that's what he does week in and week out.
They got a turnover late in the game. We put a drive together. We ended up kicking the game-winning field goal. And, that's what it takes, is when all three phases play together. And, we're a tough team to beat in the fourth quarter.
I think it's just going out there to play football regardless. I think a lot of people, they think, like, what's the key? The key is every time the ball gets put down, we're trying to play to win. And so it may not look like that in the first, second, third, but whenever it's time and we want to, every play, make the game a game-winning play for us. So get out there and get the job done.
A little bit happy with where we are. But again, like I said, we haven't played our best ball yet, all three phases. So definitely, we could be a lot better.
They fly around, they play really hard, they play fast, they play really confident. And that's what I told you guys, from the film. But being able to be on the field with them and play against that defense is a really good defense, But on the flip side of that, man, we showed up and we found a way when we needed to. I think it's back-to-back weeks of the young guys showing up and making plays, huge third down conversions from Pat, RJ, Troy continuing to step up. Us running the ball when we needed to was something that I feel like we've been able to do pretty well. Is when we need to run the ball, finding ways to make it happen. It's not perfect, but we're finding ways to do it. And that's props to our O-line, props to the runners, props to the scheme, and the prep that we put in throughout the week.
Our defense is the best in the NFL. If not the best, one of the best. And those guys pride on themselves on that. We got great people. Obviously, we were missing Pat Surtain, but we have the next man up mentality, and we have guys that can play in this league, and we're just deep in all positions. And I think it's just the chemistry that they have, the willingness to know that that's who they are, to put us in positions to score. And when we play, offense and defense the way we did today, and sustain our drives and put points on the scoreboard, and make big time stops like they did, we're a tough team to beat. And I'm grateful for this team. I'm grateful for these guys. Our coaching staff puts us in great positions, and we ended up coming out with a W today.
Next man up, and the standard doesn't drop at all. Next man up always, next man up mentality. And the whole team has that from top to bottom. And, the standard doesn't change. We still owe each other to be the best that we can be, and I think the guys definitely showed that today.
We can talk all day about how good our defense is. I tell them boys all the time, how grateful I am for them, because obviously there are times in the game, today was in particular where, it became tough to be able to go out there and put points on the board. And they continue to believe in us, continue to, stick with us, understanding that, at some point, we're going to find a way to put points on the board. And, man, I tell you guys week in and week out, to be able to go out to watch those guys go out there and dominate, The Texans had a good run thing going on for the past couple of weeks, and our defense showed up and answered the call. Everybody wanted to know what they were going to do against that run scheme, and they showed up, answered the call. A lot of third and shorts that they stopped. Goal line, watching them boys stuff it down at the goal line was, amazing to see them boys do that. Not surprising, but fun to watch.
You don't want to feel the taste of losing again. So we got some confidence in this room. We get the right guys in this room, and keep stacking these things.
I feel like, we've seen it time and time again, even from last year, just being, down in the Jets game, coming into halftime, this year being down against Philly, coming into halftime. It's been a bunch of times where we've been down and we've just been able to come back and win, find ways to win. So
just shout out to the defense. Shout out to the defensive line, holding it down. Our secondary's balling. We handle our job. Linebackers, Alex, Drake being back, man. I'm proud of the defense, man. We're just gonna keep this thing going.
We got 2 games in 10 days, and so we're gonna rest up and get ready to play the Raiders on Thursday. But this feels great. We're enjoying right now, but we have a quick turnaround and get ready to play on Thursday.
We know that when we do it right, we can play with anybody and win everything. So for us, it's just maintaining, that, and just getting to being, all 11 on the same page, attention to detail. So, so definitely got some stuff to clean up for Thursday night.